Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the United States of America podcast. Anna has been working all night long. So here's a message from Anna. She says that she was up all late last night at the hospital with Jim, and she's worked all day. She had the webinar, and then she was working with diplomatic contacts on the other side of the world since whenever, and it was 2 a.m. when she sent the message. She did not know when she would get to go to bed because there were still so many discussions to be had. And, she's dealing with a lot of craziness and shuttling around and trying to get in front of the grumpy, Trumpy face people. And she still has her cold. And so, in any case, she's having some trouble with the time changes and, all the international work that she's doing with this call basically being at 9 a.m. for her. So we're looking to reschedule. That's the first thing I'd like to share with everybody. And so keep an ear out for that or pay attention for that. Quite possibly next week, we will be going live a little bit later. And so anyway, all of that hasn't been ironed out because it's still pretty early on Alaska right now. So we're going to reassess some of the time frames and, make some changes to help, make it a little bit easier for Anna since she's doing so much international work. And I'm not sure how that will affect Lisa's podcast either. So, because we have to wait and see, how those times pan out. So we're doing our best. And so I'm going to quickly go through whatever few questions that we have here that I feel like I can answer for you. And outside of that, we'll resume next week, but pay attention to the timing and we'll set the show up early enough where you guys will be able to come onto the channel and you should be able to get the notifications and you should be able to see when the new show will be set up. I'm hoping, I don't know what's going to happen with the schedule, but for me, I think that if we can just do it a little bit later in the afternoon on Tuesday, I'll probably work. John Taylor, you said you're asking Anna if she said to you on the coordinator call, well, here, let me just put this question up here. She explained how to endorse the possible dodgy checks. She said that if you get a direct deposit, that you can send them like a thank you receipt and say receipt for partial payment. So you can definitely send them something in the mail. And it is encouraged that you do it like express mail so that you can maintain a chain of custody, to that effect. So that way you will have acknowledged receipt of their partial payment. So that's how you would handle that. Private, not for hire. We don't work on a schedule like that. We're dealing with brigands, A, and B, we're all volunteers. So no timelines. U.S. citizens, Lenny, can't inherit land. They can't own anything here. So if you're trying to guard something, we probably need to educate the future generations that would inherit it. And that will ensure that they can actually, in fact, own something. At the end of the day, everybody has to choose, right? Everybody has to make a decision. They need to operate in knowledge. Indemnification is our bond. We're all indemnified and do we need car insurance? You don't need anything. You're just traveling freely. If you're operating a business and you are operating, as an incorporated, for hire, and you're doing business and that's kind of different. We talk about how you can actually operate unincorporated. Indemnification. Think about this, you guys. Instead of paying your monthly payment towards your insurance or your annual payment or whatever it is, what if you're just stacking gold? Like in my case, I've, done a review of the last 20 years, and any issues that we had with vehicles, all the money that we paid for insurance, if I was just putting that in gold, it more than covered whatever my responsibilities were so that I could operate in honor and I could be indemnified. Now, there's a process in which you create your own bond that you can use to demonstrate this. But, when you're operating in honor, you're going to take care of bills and you're going to make sure that you have something in the background. Most of us have not been taught how to, put things away in that regard. And gold is and silver are the only things that are really the most safe bet in being able to ensure that you will be indemnified financially in the event of an emergency. So, I mean, like, for example, think about health insurance, what a gamble that is. I don't know about you guys, but for us to insure the whole family under my husband's, job insurance, then the contribution was almost $1,000 a month because the people who he's working with over there are so sick. And that's just the group rate. Everybody's group rate is a little bit different. So, if you really consider that if you just were to put $1,000 away in gold or silver, imagine what you have to show for it at the end of the year, at the end of 10 years. We went 20 years with never touching our insurance because we're not going to the doctor like that. Um, and that's a lot. That's a lot of, savings or whatever you want to call it, but it's wealth that we are able to control, and it allows us to responsibly take care of responsibilities like a car accident or any harm that may have been caused in the event of an accident, right? So just you have to think completely differently in that regard. Let's see here. So first of all, you're trying to operate in too many jurisdictions outside of, you know, our jurisdiction. The banks that are on the land here are not actual places for you to, negotiate real money. They don't have gold and silver there. So the reason it's so difficult is because it's like Anna says, you're dealing with brigands. So first you're talking to the criminal who usurped us and then telling them that they owe you trillions of dollars. That's difficult. It's very difficult. And then we could just do a deep dive and talk about that for hours, right? And we wouldn't get anywhere either because we can't speak for them. But the reason that we're not going to participate with them is because they're in the wrong jurisdiction. They're operating in law merchant. They're not supposed to be on the land and soil. The banks, that's like river banks. They're not like our prosperity unions would be. Um, it's not the same thing. You're trying to compare apples to apples, and we don't have no apples. So, Sandra, if you want to start a new business and you want to learn how to do that unincorporated, then I do a Saturday call for businesses, which I invite you to join. And you don't need an EIN, you already have one, which is your social. And we can talk more about that. We would talk about your business and what are you trying to offer and all of those good things. So, if you're interested in coming and joining us there, then you can sign up for our newsletter. Or you can join my Telegram. Let me just put a link for that here for you. And I'll share a link there so that you can join. Here, I'll just paste that right in the comments here. But if you go to any of the show notes also, Sandra, on all the shows, then there's a link tree. And if you click on the link tree, then it also gives you the link to the Telegram, you guys. And then you can message me and I can make sure that you get an invitation for the Saturday calls. All right. Cool. All right. Well, you guys, we love you so much. Let's let Anna get some rest. We're going to redo the schedule for the podcast so that it is not such a heavy weight for her with the various time changes and, doing all the international work that she is doing, and especially with everything moving at God's speed right now. Um, and so there's that, George. I believe that's on the exchange on St. Crown's website, George. There isn't a better way to listen to the past shows on business. Frankly, I wasn't recording all of them. There are a lot of people that were getting into the details of their businesses, but I think I'm going to need to just start a channel with that. And so I have been considering that. So thanks, T Bird. I will work on doing that and get you guys a channel so that you can follow it. But at the moment, we just don't have that. Thanks, Kimberly, for the big hugs for Anna. And we're always lifting her with our prayers and good words and good wishes. And we're also always thanking you guys and sending lots of love and powerful, pure positive energy your way. And we love you so much. And we will look forward to seeing you guys next week, possibly at a later time. All right. Thank you guys.